microphone. I don't need the camera, but yeah.
Right.
I just see like all the protein shakes I have in the back there.
Listen.
Hey, if everyone's gonna hate, that's for you.
Yeah, listen, if you're gonna hate, you're gonna hate. Like, that's just how it is.
Let me know when are we live now?
We are live.
All right.
Let me just pull this up over here real quick, and then we'll get going. Can't find whatever.
I'll do like the intro, I would say. I know how to pump Pam on up.
Yeah, and live can hear us. We're great. All right, we're doing good.
All right. So many people question, what do friends think about when we make podcasts? You know, talk about the most random crap out there. But me and my friend Zach, and hopefully
Tim eventually. Hopefully Tim eventually.
He's dealing with something personally that we hope he gets better at. We decide, you know what? Let's just make a podcast, all things about sports and potentially some other stuff that we just like for fun. My name is Nico Gompel. I am a student at the University of Florida, and my co-host as of right now is Zachary Eaton. Say hi, Zach.
What's up, guys? We are your host. Tim eventually, you know, when he comes in, he'll be our third host. You know, we hope this goes off in a great direction, and you know, can't be really prepared for anything more than just random rants about, you know, especially with Nico here, about the Magic and, you know, just many things sports. Just talk about, you know, the sports world, about anything that's relevant. So, you know, let's get into it.
All right, Zach, I got a couple questions for you. So obviously, NFL free agency has just happened. A lot of things happened over the past couple weeks with NFL free agency. You know, we have a huge signing, DK going to Pittsburgh.
Unfortunately.
You know, Sam Darnold going to Seattle, Cooper Kupp going to Seattle,
questionably
going to the Rams. So I wanted to ask you two things. Number one, what is, in your opinion, the most underrated move or most impactful move, you would say? And who would you say is the biggest winner in all of free agency and biggest loser? Who would you say? Let's start
so
first.
I'm gonna say, I think it's a lot easier to say losers first. And let me just put my thoughts and prayers in for the Dallas Cowboys. Unfortunately, you guys might never win a Super Bowl, like ever, until Jerry Jones is in a casket. But hey, you know, I think Jerry Jones here. Jerry, if you're listening to this, if you ever do, I wish you the best, man. Please retire. I'm not a Cowboys fan, but as a football fan, it is disappointing to see what you're doing to this franchise. And I know I hate the Dallas Cowboys. Like, don't get me wrong.
We all do. No one likes Dallas Cowboys.
Nobody likes the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, man.
But, like, as a football fan, please, just leave them alone. They've suffered enough.
Yeah. I have a coworker who is a Dallas Cowboys fan, and he just bashes on Jerry Jones all the time. He talks about why they gave Dak Prescott that ludicrous deal, which basically gave them
beginning of last season. That was a
$60 million
disastrous
per year and damn
deal.
near the entire contract guarantee, which is the dumbest thing possible. Obviously, you have to pay CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb, right?
Yeah. CeeDee Lamb is like, and then probably I wouldn't be surprised if before the season starts, they move like Micah Parsons. I would not be
either. Because here's the thing: somebody.
Now if you do that, Jerry Jones, you're going to the retirement home, buddy. Yeah. There's no recovering from that.
Here's the thing. They cleared up. They restructured Dak and CD's contract to clear, I think, $52 million or something like that.
To do what?
And they haven't done shit.
To do what?
Simply, they just haven't done shit with that money.
They won't do anything.
They signed Javonte Williams, and that's pretty much it. They let DeMarcus Lawrence walk. They re-signed their linebacker Bell, who is okay, I guess. But I saw the stat. The last time they signed a free agent that's not from the team that they had since 2016 was 2016. That was more than $8 million a year. That's saying a lot. Like I
should have known. Like they signed Zeke 2 years ago. Like Why?
Here's the thing. It's not that Jerry Jones doesn't want to win, because he does. He does.
I don't think he does.
No,
I really don't think.
no.
I really don't think he does.
Here's the thing. It's not that he doesn't want to win. It's that he wants to win his way. The reason why he fired Jimmy Johnson was because he was getting all the credit when they were winning Super Bowls like crazy. You know, when they went on their dynastic run in the 90s with arguably a top 5 team of all time. It was literally Jimmy Johnson getting all the credit. Yeah. Jerry Jones and his ego did not want that because, hey, I built you this team. I got you your players. I traded Herschel Walker to get you Troy Aikman, essentially, and Emmitt Smith, pretty much, which worked out beautifully for them. He wanted the credit. But since then, he has just not been able to do it the right way. The way to build a team is you have to have stability in your coaching department. He never allows his head coach to basically be the guy. You know, he always hires guys that he can control. That's why he doesn't hire guys like...
Keep preaching.
Yeah, that's why he doesn't hire guys like Bill Belichick, what he probably should have last year. His defense sucked last year.
Hey, shout out Bill Belichick actually getting back into the coaching field. Shout out Bill Belichick's girlfriend. I don't care if you're there for the money, but Bill, you better be treating her like a queen.
Oh yeah.
Because my lord, talk about a smoke show.
Obviously, I would say obviously Dallas. Yeah. I would say another loser, honestly, would probably be either Miami or Seattle. Seattle for sure.
I mean,
they just let everybody
okay. Here's my take on Miami here. If you're getting to the point where you're signing Zach Wilson, you fucked up.
Yeah.
You know fucked up.
Listen, I'm a Bucks fan, so I'm not really partial to the Dolphins, so to speak.
I'm a Packers fan. I don't give a shit about the Dolphins.
I think you can win a Super Bowl with Tua. I just think it has to be like the same thing like the Eagles. Yeah. Because the one thing that Tua has is his accuracy is elite. There is no question about that. He has elite accuracy. And his arm is better than what people say. I see quarterbacks that have way worse arms than he does. All the time.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not that. My question is the Dolphins, they built the team based on speed. But the problem is you have to have home field advantage if that's going to work. It can't be barely winning. You can't not win the division, right? And then basically go on the road in cold to win. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, no, exactly. And see that's like physical. That's the one thing about the Miami Dolphins that I tell Jake every single time I talk to him. Like, bro, your team is built to win in warm weather or a dome. Like if you go and play in like any cold climate, your team collapses. You guys just don't know how to play in it.
They're 1-15 with Mike McDaniels as head coach against winning teams.
They're just not built. Their defense too.
This is how you know their defense stinks. So everyone's crediting Vic Fangio for the Eagles defense this year, right? Number one defense in the NFL, right?
Yep.
He was literally, excuse my mumbling. He was literally the defensive coordinator for the Dolphins last season, not this one, the year before, and they were ranked 26th in defense. And the Dolphins players literally said, "I do not like playing for him." And he goes to Pittsburgh, and he goes to Philadelphia, and wins the Super Bowl his first year.
Yep.
That means something.
Coincidence? I think not. No. I don't think that's a coincidence. There's no chance. There's no chance.
The Dolphins defense stinks. They're overpaying Jalen Ramsey. He's been good, but he's not been obviously prime Jalen Ramsey. He's not good.
Okay. Here's my thing about Jalen Ramsey, right? You've been great in the past. Like Jaden Ramsey and Jaguars Jaden Ramsey.
Jaguars Jalen Ramsey was absolutely insane.
Different. It's just not the same anymore, and you're paying him like it still is. It's just not the same.
His speed is not once. He's still very good, but his speed has definitely
for sure.
So
I agree.
Obviously, with the Dolphins, what they needed to address basically, hey, we need to get physical because there is no way you can convince me that Devon Achane should be getting 30 touches a game, every single game. It's just you can't do that. It's just you're just gonna run him to the ground, and then you have no running backs after that.
Yeah. See.
So
Devon Achane, I believe has the potential to be a really good running back.
He is.
He totally could be like an Aaron Jones. Like from a Packers fan, he could totally be that guy who's super fast. He could be a great pass catcher. But obviously, he's not going to be like, the strongest just running into guys. But he's shifty. No. He's shifty and he's fast.
But he has no chance because the offensive line sucks, and then just running him into the ground.
The offensive line.
I think he's getting like 30 touches a game. You can't give a 5'9", 170-pound running back.
He's going to hurt himself.
I'm taller than him. I'm taller than him in real life, dude. You can't give me.
Most people are taller than him. Shout out to all my short kings out there. Nothing wrong with being short. You just got to find yourself a tall mommy. That's right.
I mean, to be fair, that's 5'9" is actually the average height in America for a man. So I mean,
damn, am I that much above average?
Yeah.
All right, I'll take that. No, that's a little ego boost.
Europe, it's a little taller, I will say.
Yeah. I mean, look at all these basketball players coming from Europe. My lord.
Yeah. But again, it's the Dolphins have no idea what they're doing. I understand why they tried to build it, but it doesn't work in the playoffs.
No.
Because it gets too cold. They need to basically like revamp the entire deal.
To their defense, though. Who really knows how to play in the cold? I mean,
all the other teams that play up north know how to play in the cold.
Yes, but like
all Buffalo, Kansas City, Baltimore, all that stuff.
But who can go and play a game in the cold like they play, in a warm, sunny, summer day? It's obviously not going to be the same.
Honestly, it's funny that you.
Okay, no. I was gonna say the only team that I think might be able to do that might be Buffalo. It might be recency. Right. It might be recency bias.
Honestly, you could also say the same thing about Tampa Bay, because remember they went into Kansas City and when it was like 20 degrees with no help. I mean, and I think Evans, Godwin, Shepard, and McMillan out. And Rashad White was out. I'm not saying they're like elite, but they know how to play because they're experienced. It's different though. It's a whole different thing. I'm not saying they're at their best in the cold.
I don't know. I need to see a bigger sample size for that one for me to agree on that one.
I mean, listen. I mean, you want to talk about Green Bay a couple years ago in the NFC Championship game?
No, I prefer not to.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I'd prefer not to.
That's what I thought.
I blame that on one man and one man only, and you know his name.
Kevin King.
Fucking Kevin King. Every Packers fan sleeps at night. They wake up screaming, thinking of Kevin King. Yeah. How old was I? Like,
that was 5 years ago.
Yeah, so I was literally like 6. No, I was sure.
4 years ago. Basically 4 years ago.
So I was like 16 years old. I was screaming at the television.
Yeah. I was shouting with joy when Scotty Miller burned Kevin King at the end of the half. I was shouting. Hey, don't disrespect the GOAT Scotty Miller. Julian Edelman 2.0. No, I'm kidding. No.
Where is he in the league now?
I don't know. I don't know where the hell he is now.
Let me look this up right now.
Also,
I guarantee you he's selling insurance. I guarantee you.
He's not selling insurance. He's on a team. Wait. I think. Hold on. Don't tell me the answer. I think I know where he is, or where he was last year. All right, let me know when you have your answer.
I believe I have my answer. Yeah.
Was it Atlanta?
Pittsburgh.
Really?
Or maybe he moved to Pittsburgh. Maybe he's on Atlanta. Let me look at his ESPN.
He was. I'm like 90% sure he was on Atlanta. At least 1 or 2 years ago. I know he was in Atlanta.
Okay, yeah, he was in Atlanta 2023, Pittsburgh 2024.
Okay, I remember seeing him in an Atlanta Falcons jersey.
Either way,
I get the point. Yeah.
Either way, you should not be letting that guy drop like 100 on you. Like there's just.
I remember.
No way.
He was so good with Brady there. I don't know why we got rid of him. I mean, obviously McMillan's better, so that.
Oh, he is. He is.
Okay, I think one last loser quickly, obviously has to be Seattle.
I was gonna say the 49ers.
Or 49ers. One of those two teams just lost.
Seattle because they're cleaning house, and the 49ers because they have so many people to re-sign with so many like high demands.
Brock Purdy is gonna get the absolute bag, and I don't know.
And it's so unfortunate because I'm not a Brock Purdy hater. I'm not a Brock Purdy hater.
I listen.
But I just don't think he deserves what these top quarterbacks are getting paid.
No,
there's no chance.
If I were the GM, I would say, hey, I'll give you 4 years, $45 million a year. You know, you're not getting paid $50 million, but it allows us to get you your money.
See, that's still an absurd amount of money. Like
45. But here's the thing, $45 million.
But that's like the mid-tier like contract now.
Yeah. Baker Mayfield this offseason is gonna get probably what? $50 million a year.
I'm gonna guess like at least like probably like 51 mil a year.
Something like that. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
And then
that's so crazy how that's like the average like you know, like top 10 quarterback like probably contract there.
I forgot. Kansas City. You lose your best offensive lineman. You lose DeAndre Hopkins.
He went to what, like Chicago, I'm pretty sure?
Yeah, he got traded to Chicago. And they're just a cap hell. If there is a year that they will not make the AFC game, it will be this year.
I have an honorable mention.
Tell me.
The New Orleans Saints. They will never get out of their cap hell.
Why are they paying Chase Young $18 million a year for 3 years?
This is why they're like $100 million in debt and cap.
Hey, I love it because I'm a Bucs fan. I get to see them.
So you get to play them twice a year and beat the shit out of them. So yeah, go for it. But like dude, every single year, I swear it goes up and up and up and up. They just can't recover.
Yeah, I have, and then quickly for winners because you know we don't really have much time. For winners, I have 4, not in like any particular order. I have New England. Obviously, because they actually spent money and they got their defense shored up, so that helps. And they also just signed an offensive lineman, the one that the Vikings released that will help them. Chicago addressed the offensive line big time, got a little more help on defense. Finally, are getting Caleb some help on the offensive line, like I said. Buffalo getting Joey Bosa with that contract is massive. They re-signed Benford long term. They got Joshua Palmer, who I think will help them.
Now. They also gave, you know, Josh Allen the bag,
and they gave Josh Allen the bag, which he deserves because
he rightfully deserves it. But even I remember watching a clip of him. He was saying like he was saying basically like I don't know how much, like he goes, you know, I'm grateful for the money, but I don't know how much more I can, you know, play or how much better I can play to be
everyone's
worth,
saying that,
you know, that
everyone's saying that but he's getting paid $55 million a year.
He's also dating fucking. It makes me so mad.
He's just winning in life.
He's winning in life.
He's just winning in life.
But you know,
he's getting married. He's getting
married.
No, take Josh Allen Doves. Like, congrats, dude. And then my last winner.
Hey, white boy of the year. White boy of the year. Very early
my
contender.
last winner, I mean this objectively, is probably Tampa Bay. You're able to re-sign Goblin.
Here we go. You're
able to re-sign Goblin. You re-sign Bryce Hall, who didn't play all year because of injury, and I think he'll help the secondary. You know, not be like shut down corner number 1, but you get the idea. You have direction in your running game. You restructured Tristan Wirfs' contract to save $20 million, and the big move for them, they got Hassan Reddick on a prove-it deal, and I think that's huge because now. You have Yaya Diaby, Vita Vea, Kalijah Kancey, and Hassan Reddick on all. Of
course, we're still in like the early stages of,
and Hassan,
you know, like free agency. So there could be some like crazy big like moves. But most of the big names are off the market. You know, like like DK went off pretty fast. You know, Devontae Adams went off pretty fast.
If I was Cincinnati, I'd be looking at Amari Cooper or Stephon Diggs for like a prove-it deal for them.
Why would they want another receiver?
Because 3 receivers, and I mean this just to make it entertaining. I don't mean like it'd be a benefit of the team, just to be fun to see.
Okay, so more of an entertainment.
Just Stephon Diggs. The team that really should be going after a true number 2 is Detroit. I think Detroit truly needs a true number 2 receiver.
They had it in what's his face, Patrick. What for his last name?
Tim Patrick?
Tim Patrick. That's the same.
They re-signed him, but I don't think he's a good enough 2.
I don't think he's a 2. I think he's probably like at least a 3 or a 4.
If I were Detroit, I would go for Amari Cooper. Because
as a Packers fan, I'm fine with them not signing anybody. I mean, I think you should release Amon-Ra St. Brown, honestly. You know.
They're not gonna release him.
Horrible player, you know. Horrible player, you know. I'm not gonna lie, sick name, but
cope. He's just coping. Everyone, he's just coping.
It's not cope.
Packers fan.
Yeah. So before we move on from football, I just want to say, like, address my Packers free agency. Has it been the best? No. It's been a little underwhelming. I mean, coming off of last year where you signed, Xavier McKinney and Josh Jacobs, like, I don't think you can get much better than that.
No, you can't, because those were probably two of the best free agent signings of the entire. Obviously,
that's the best free agency signings that, like, Goot has ever done. Props to Goot.
Because obviously, Saquon's one. No need to discuss why that is, but
I don't know. Why did you pay Daniel Jones?
They had to, dude. He had a record-breaking playoff game, and you see, he could do it.
He sucks.
They ruined that because his offensive line was so bad.
Yeah.
Let's talk about bad offensive lines. The Giants, holy cow, they do not have a line at all.
It's bad. Yeah, but anyways, so
whoever they draft,
I think the Packers signings, I think they're pretty good. We addressed the line issue, and then we signed a better corner. Now,
problem is Jair Alexander.
No,
he's probably gonna get traded.
No, I don't think he's gonna get traded. I think they'll keep him for the last year of his contract.
Really?
Right. I think they'll keep him for the last year of his contract.
All right.
Because I mean, from what I've seen, I mean, if they really wanted to, unless they draft a corner in the draft,
that's what I was gonna say. I think they should just draft.
Then they'll probably trade him.
Hey, Tampa Bay. I'm looking at Tampa.
I'll take Will Johnson.
Hey, Tampa Bay. You trade a second-round pick to Green Bay for Jair Alexander. Now you got true lockdown. Now you got a true lockdown corner.
And then watch Jair Alexander play the best ball he's ever played in his life and, like, never get hurt again. See, that's the reason why we want to trade him, because we're paying him a lot of money. Because, like, when healthy, he's
good. He's top 10 at least.
I was gonna say, like, top 3 corners in the league. Like, he's.
I don't know about top 3, but definitely at least like top 6, 7. Definitely. Like,
he's on the upper echelon. He's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a guy you want to keep around. But it's like, what, every year he only plays like half the season. It's like, what's the point in paying you?
Yeah.
So that's the big issue with him. You just gotta either ride out that last year, which I think we probably will.
I just think the Packers are in a different, like, time frame than Jair Alexander. I think Jair Alexander's like at compete, and I don't think the Packers are really ready to compete yet.
I would say next year would be a big tell to see, like, the direction they're gonna go in.
I've been screaming this from the mountaintops. I'm not even a Packers fan, and I've told you this a million times. The guy that they should be going to is
Christian Watson. And I agree.
He had a game this year. He had 4 targets for 150 yards. I'm not saying he's going to be a superstar receiver. But there's no way you can tell me that a 6'5" receiver with that kind of speed should not be the main target in the red zone. You just can't tell me that. Can't tell me.
Now, the thing is with him, too. The thing is with him is he also has to stay healthy. That's why I think they're hesitant to kind of, like, center an offense around him.
I know, but again, even when he has been healthy, they just don't target him in the red zone. Every goal line play should be, hey, Christian Watson. They
have too many mouths to feed. That's the problem. Is honestly, you need guys that are okay with being like, the second or third option.
Mm-hmm.
But I think all these guys are, like, really like dead set on being that number 1 option.
Yeah.
And I think that might be one of the issues in the receiving core. Now, don't even get me started about the drop rate last year. Don't even get me started about that. No. Some of our receivers, who was it? I think it was Malik Heath. I think led the league in drops. Is either that or
It was one of those guys. Yeah.
It wasn't like Dobbs, Watson, or Reed, but it was. I think it was Malik Heath. Either that or I don't know. But anyways, don't get me wrong. Dobbs also dropped a lot. Watson also dropped some that should have been wide open.
The drops of that team were an issue. I will not.
Now, I don't necessarily blame that on Jordan. That's why I think his accuracy was a little bit affected. That's why I really wanted a proven wide receiver 1, because that would help Jordan get that higher completion percentage. Because he's a good quarterback. It's just his accuracy that's, a little lackluster, and kind of
anyone who
work
thinks
on.
that Jordan Love is not a good quarterback is just wrong. He's a good quarterback.
Shockingly a good quarterback. Everybody hated the pick at first, but now they're like, oh my god, thank you.
Yeah. Thing is that he's the definition of a true gunslinger.
Yeah.
When he's on, he's like really on, but when he's off, he's throwing interceptions left and right.
It's just the unfortunate part of football,
Yeah.
That's just how it is.
Sometimes
I told you the other night, he's literally 50% Brett Favre, 50% Aaron Rodgers.
Pretty much.
And
obviously not as talented as Aaron Rodgers, but
yeah, maybe we're not there yet. Could be.
I don't see him throwing 1 year in his entire career of like 35 touchdowns and 4 picks. I just don't see that.
All right, we'll revisit this when it happens.
Yeah. All right.
We'll revisit this.
I think that's enough NFL. So obviously,
I'm about to say, I think we covered a decent amount of NFL there.
Actually, I want to say this. As of right now,
one more little tidbit here.
Little thing. Just as of right now, what is your Super Bowl prediction? Don't tell me who wins.
Super Bowl prediction
right now. Who do you think makes the Super Bowl objectively? Who do you think makes it?
Last year, I wanted to say the Bills. But I genuinely, unless I can prove to me that they can actually go into the playoffs and can win.
Just defend. Just defend.
Play defense. Play defense. Play defense. That's all I'm asking. Play defense. I would love to see Buffalo in the Super Bowl. So I think that if I pick Buffalo, I'm gonna regret it. But I would love to see Buffalo in the Super Bowl.
I'm very tempted to pick Buffalo, but I think Baltimore gets it done. I think adding D-Hop as another receiver helps.
Zay Flowers. I'm about to say Zay Flowers needs to
I'm telling you right now, if Zay Flowers was in against Buffalo, they win that game. 100%. They win that game. Because I literally picked Baltimore to win had Zay Flowers played. And I said if he did not play,
I also think
because they're better than Buffalo. The only reason why Buffalo is good is literally because of number 17. He's the only reason why that team is good. If you take Josh Allen off of that team, they probably win 5 games max. Yeah. They have a good
I also think that Baltimore is like 2 tight ends, like the 2 tight end kind of scheme that they have going. They have like the best tight end duo in the league for sure.
And obviously Derrick Henry. If they stay healthy,
and they have Derrick Henry, of course. Which Derrick Henry surprises me every year because I'm waiting for that regression and it just doesn't come.
It doesn't happen.
It doesn't come.
And then I don't know. In the NFC, I think
the NFC, I will say, is definitely a weaker conference than the AFC. Like
I honestly, I don't think so.
It's starting to merge now. It used to be like dramatic. It used to be like AFC was like leagues better than the NFC. Now they're getting a little bit closer. I still think the AFC is a little bit better.
I actually think the opposite. I think the NFC is better. I think the NFC has way better. I think the thing is in the AFC teams are all quarterback dependent.
I was about to say quarterback dependent.
The quarterbacks are by far better in the AFC. Yeah. I mean, there's no debate. But the whole rest of the other 52 players on the team are all better in the NFC, like without any shadow of a doubt. I mean, look at Philly.
Yeah, you
Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback. He's not the best, but look at the rest of the damn team. I mean, it's staff. Detroit, same thing. You have a great offensive line, great receiving core. If they stay healthy, a good defense. And by the way, my prediction.
I'm fine with them having a hurt defense.
Oh yeah, but Tampa Bay have a pretty good quarterback. I think Baker Mayfield. Defense was hurt, but I think they'll be somewhat fine. A receiving core elite, running back elite, obviously because Bucky Irving's the GOAT. And the offensive line
for NFC wise, like it's hard to pick. I feel like
what the NFC does. The NFC is the conference where the other 52 players are better. Because I can look at almost every team in the NFC from the top 7 and look at the teams in the AFC and say, yep, that's the other 52 players are better on those teams than in the AFC. The difference is the AFC, the quarterbacks are a billion times better than the ones in the NFC.
Yeah, that's very fair.
The top 4 quarterbacks, Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, and Lamar, are all in the AFC.
Well, Burrow's probably gonna be like number 2 now that he has Higgins and Chase like locked up for like the next 4 years.
Yeah.
Let's speak on that real quick.
Yeah.
What an absolute bag both of those guys got.
Oh yeah,
deserved.
Jamar Chase deserved that bag, and also T Higgins.
Yeah,
I just don't see why you pay 3 players 44% of your entire cap.
There's no. I was gonna say there's no excuse paying 3 players that much money.
I told you this earlier. One good draft in your defense and everything's fixed. Because then that defense will be good for the next 3 years because everyone's on rookie deals.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to make sure if you have star receivers, you have to keep them because it makes everything easier.
I'm trying to think though. Like
they should not have.
Who is my Super Bowl favorite for the NFC though?
I pick Detroit. I think Detroit stays healthy.
I can't see Detroit. I can't see it.
I think Detroit. This is the year because I think they're going to address the defense more in the draft. I think they're going to draft another receiver. I think, or get Jameson Williams or improve a little bit more. But what killed Detroit was injuries. It's not the team. What killed Detroit was excuse me. What killed Detroit was the injuries. It has nothing to do with the team. I don't care who you are. If you have 17 guys on defense hurt, you're just not going to be able to defend. That's just not. And here's the thing. Even with that, they were 8th in points allowed per game. With all the injuries they had, they were 8th allowed in points per game. So that tells you how good of a team they are. I just think if they stay healthy this year, I think they will make the Super Bowl. And I think they win the Super Bowl. I think they win. My prediction is Lions over Ravens in the Super Bowl. I just think that they are the more complete team, and I think Jared Goff is going to come with a vengeance next year.
I refuse to believe it.
You're a Packers fan.
I refuse to believe that.
All right.
If I had to pick an NFC team though, like I genuinely can't.
You can't go against Philly.
No, I was about to say it's got to be Philly. If it's not Detroit, it's got to be Philly.
It's not Detroit. It's Philly or Washington.
Well, but here's the thing. It's like Washington. I could see them going on like another deep run. I don't see them getting it done because they're still like such a developing team, Also,
boom or bust is obviously Tampa Bay because of the experience.
Yeah.
That's the boom or bust, basically, of the end.
I mean, like we've said before, Todd Bowles is an absolute terrorist to the organization and should be fired immediately.
Whoever doesn't know, I call him Terrorist Todd, not because he's a bad person. He just makes the worst play calls at the worst possible times. Every single time. And
it's bad.
I'm not attacking his character at all because I know his team loves him. I know that for a fact.
He's just a questionable play caller.
He just did not know how to call plays when it matters most.
He's a questionable play caller for sure.
All right. I think that's enough NFL for now.
All right. Into March Madness.
Yes.
Speaking of, we've got games going on right now. All right, let's check on the scores real quick.
Crane is up by 20 against Louisville.
Oh shit.
Yep, there goes my perfect bracket.
Yeah, there goes my perfect bracket. To be fair, in my other bracket with my Duke winner, I do have Creighton winning, so
And Purdue is up by 10 at halftime against High Point, which also I picked against because I picked High Point to win.
That makes sense though. It makes sense.
And then Wisconsin's losing to Montana at the beginning of the game, so I don't really care.
All right.
Yeah, Creighton scored like 20 unanswered points at the end of the first half. That's insane.
So now I've got my bracket put up right here.
All right, I have let's just put it this way for the viewer.
We have pretty identical brackets.
You and I have the exact same Final Four and the exact same result winning.
Oh, we didn't collude on anything. That is just out of pure chance.
I did mine myself, and he did his last night.
And then we'll also pull up Tim's.
2 hours it took him to do it. He was watching film.
We'll also pull up Tim's.
Yeah,
just
we both picked.
Listen. Shout out my Twitch channel. If you were watching Guggy last night, you know. Some of these white boys got some finesse in them.
Yeah.
Hence the name of white boy basketball, because this is the year of white boy basketball, and we're gonna see it. That's why my winner's Florida, because I like big white boy. What's his name?
Thomas House. Yeah.
Heavy disclaimer here. I don't know shit about college basketball. I just pick whatever teams I like.
I do. Listen, I go to the University of Florida.
Nico knows ball.
I go to the University of Florida, but as many people
there is bias.
I am not biased towards any one of my teams at all. There is zero. And if it's because I'm wearing this jersey, I am not biased towards anybody because I had to deal with this nonsense, and I'll get to that in a little bit. But
props to you for sticking with, the Orlando Magic for as
I finally
abysmal.
have a future to be happy about. It's just this year's been a season of hell because of injuries. But when I watched Florida at the beginning of the year, I thought Florida was at best an Elite 8 team, because I did not believe the defense was that good. However, after we got into SEC play, the defense really started picking up. And what I saw was the team was so deep that we have basically 9-10 guys that we can play and are better than almost anyone on the floor. We have, without a doubt, the best backcourt in basketball with Elijah Martin and Walter Clayton. Walter Clayton obviously was a first-team All-American this year, and he's really damn good. And when I look at this team, I think the total combination of them basically with the tough schedule that they have in the SEC with 14 teams in the tournament, they went 14-4. They breezed through the SEC tournament, basically having no setbacks or anything. Beat Alabama by 30. Beat Missouri by double digits. To beat Tennessee in a game that they really controlled pretty much the whole game except for like the first 5 minutes. And I think just the way they play very smart. They have very good ball movement. They shoot well. They defend well. They rebound exceptionally well. I think that is the most complete team in college basketball. And I think with their experience, being in the tournament last year as well, and also, having a bunch of seniors on the team, I think that is why I picked them to win. If I didn't have faith in the team, I would not pick them to win. And I can tell everyone I don't have bias because I have Tennessee in the Final Four. And I hate Tennessee.
Okay, but the one thing I do know is they have the best defense in college basketball.
Tennessee has probably the best defense in college basketball. Definitely one of, if not the. Like, they have that good of a defense.
Yeah, no. That is one reason why I have Tennessee in my Final Four, because defense wins championships. Just not in my bracket.
Yeah, basically.
Not in my bracket.
We both have Florida. So for our Final Four, both of us have Florida, Michigan State, and Duke and Tennessee. Both of our Final Fours, and we both have Duke losing to Florida in the final.
Yeah.
So we basically have the same bracket.
All right, so let's go over my bracket real quick.
Yeah.
All right.
My bracket's cooked already because I'm losing. I'm losing to Creighton. Louisville's losing to Creighton, and Purdue's probably going to be.
So here was my logic with the Louisville Creighton pick here. So I have Auburn. I have Auburn winning over Alabama State. Okay, so disclaimer here: all of my 1 seeds win. There's no way any 1 seed gets upset by a 16 seed. There's just no chance.
No chance.
There's especially Duke, Auburn, Florida. I mean,
no.
Houston maybe just because it's fucking Houston. Like, it would so be a Houston thing to do.
But those other 3, Auburn,
Duke,
and UF,
there's no chance. There's no chance.
Not losing.
All right, so obviously Auburn's gonna win, and so I was torn between Louisville and Creighton. I was like, I like Creighton because white boy basketball. They have a thing with white boys over there. They like a lot of white boys.
I mean, this is a joke, guys. Don't cancel him because he's like all white boy. It's a joke.
Listen, listen. The white boys who can ball. They're pretty entertaining here. So, obviously,
who knows about Jimmer Fredette? BYU legend Jimmer Fredette.
Listen, some of these white guys that go to the league, they're just fun to watch because obviously, they're just like, oh, I mean, you're all right, I guess, but like, dang, I guess you could ball. I like to make fun of them. It's funny. All right, but yeah, so I was like, either way, it doesn't matter. Louisville or Creighton, whoever wins that game is probably going to lose to Auburn in the next one.
Yeah, that's the same thing.
So I was like, I'm not going to forfeit a ton of points there. Obviously, if I was going for a perfect bracket, which right now it looks like I'm definitely not going to get that.
No, I don't want to hear anything of that. They have all these awards, like rewards for going on perfect bracket.
It might never happen. Yeah, in our lifetime.
Just so you know, for everyone who's watching, I know there's probably no one, but at some point when they see this, they will.
Oh, you can always rewatch it back.
The odds of you getting a perfect bracket are 1 in 9.2 quintillion, which, if you don't know, is basically a billion. It's 2 basically combined. You have a better chance at winning the lottery 3 straight times than getting a perfect bracket. So basically, you're not getting a perfect bracket.
And how many people win the lottery in their lifetime? A very, very, very few people.
And here's the thing. I remember this very vividly. The year before it got canceled, like 2019,
Hmm.
I'll never forget this. 3 people on ESPN had basically a perfect bracket except for one game. One game. And that game was Nevada versus Florida. They all picked Nevada, and Florida won that game. I'll never forget that. They picked Virginia to win, Texas Tech in the final. I mean, they had everything pretty much correct, except for that one game. I was like, oh my God. Could you imagine getting one wrong at the beginning and having everything else perfect?
That's just how it goes, man. That's just how it goes.
Yeah, the point is you're not getting perfect bracket.
All right. So anyways, then I have Michigan, UC San Diego. Now, people say UC San Diego has a very solid chance of winning. I do believe that.
I picked them to win. Personally.
I do believe that. I just think Michigan gets it done. Now, I have that? Now, again, this was a thing where I'm like, either one, I feel like is probably going to lose to Texas A&M in the next round.
I agree.
And so I have Texas A&M winning that next game anyways. So again, I'm not going to forfeit a whole ton of points if I'm wrong. Now, what would really fuck me over if Texas A&M loses in the first round against Yale? Then I might be screwed. But
that's not happening.
All right, and then I picked Ole Miss because on stream last night, I watched my white guy with a headband.
Oh my God, he's insanely good at shooting. Yeah, no.
He shot one shot that I saw, and he fucking bricked it. And I was so sad.
He's actually really good.
And I
got his name, but
yeah, but
I know
he's their point guard. I'm pretty sure. I'm just like, yeah, Loki. I like you. You got swagger. My friend. So I picked Ole Miss over North Carolina, and also I believe North Carolina's the karma's going to get them. They didn't deserve to be in the tournament. You could have easily put like a team like West Virginia in there.
Sean Padula, that's his name. That's him.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So I picked Ole Miss to win that game. Iowa State to win over Lipscomb. Pretty self-explanatory. Now, Iowa State, on the other hand, has what's his face out, right?
Yeah.
I forgot his name, but he's like their guy. So I have them losing to Ole Miss in the second round.
I have the exact same thing.
Damn, were we just like telepathically like making these brackets?
I think there's one difference that I have than you. Who's your Elite 8? Excuse me. Who's your Elite 8 matchup in the Houston side of the bracket?
I have Tennessee, Clemson, Florida, Texas Tech, and Michigan State, Auburn, and Duke, Alabama.
The only thing, and I mean this, the only team that we have different, I have Wisconsin instead of Alabama. Everything else is the exact same.
Very fair.
This is not, like we said, we
literally just made like almost an identical bracket.
Pretty much.
Anyways,
I will say though, I have a bunch of upsets from the 2 seeds. I only think 1 2 seed gets past the or 2 seeds get past the second round. I have St. John's losing to Kansas in the second round. I have
that's fair.
Alabama losing to St. Mary's in the second round. Alabama has no defense whatsoever, just zero defense.
Very fair.
So I just don't think they're going to go far because of that.
All right, let's continue. I've got Marquette, New Mexico. I've got New Mexico winning that game over Marquette. I had to pick an upset there. Either way, whoever plays Michigan State's losing.
Yeah.
So doesn't matter. And then now let's we'll go diagonal. We'll go to the East. I have Duke over Mount St. Mary's. Self-explanatory. Mississippi State, Baylor, same thing. Whoever wins that game, probably gonna lose to Duke anyways.
I have Mississippi State winning that.
I have Baylor winning it.
Okay.
Oregon Liberty. I don't think it matters. See, here's the thing with Oregon Liberty. I was so tempted to pick Liberty.
I'm picking Oregon.
I was so tempted to pick Liberty for like just because I could.
Arizona should beat Akron as well.
Yeah, I picked Arizona to beat Akron. I was so tempted to pick Liberty though because like it would be so funny to watch Liberty just like make a deep run.
Yeah.
Because they could be entertaining to watch too because they're like from what I heard, is like they're kind of like Alabama, where they might not defend well, but they have like a really good offense.
Just run up and down. Yeah.
And then I have the Soakers versus VCU.
VCU, I think wins that.
I have the Soakers going on. You know, they'll soak on a little longer.
Wisconsin should beat Montana.
Wisconsin should definitely beat Montana.
I have St. Mary's over Vanderbilt. And
I have St. Mary's over Vanderbilt, and I have Alabama over Robert Morris.
Yep.
Self-explanatory.
All right. Yeah, and then we talked about pretty much the same thing in the other side of the bracket. You know, we said Houston, Gonzaga.
So I've got Florida over Norfolk, UConn over Oklahoma. Again, I'm picking UConn just off of recency bias, quite honestly.
I'm picking Oklahoma because I don't think UConn.
Either way, they lose to Florida in the next round.
Yeah,
so
none of those teams should be Florida.
Now my big upset is Colorado State over Memphis. Now, I say big upset as if they're not already the favorite to win.
Favorite to win the game, yeah.
But at the end of the day, it is a 12 seed over a 5 seed.
I'm picking Memphis. I think Memphis will win that game.
You know, and you could be right.
Maryland should beat Grand Canyon.
I have Maryland over Grand Canyon.
I have no idea why I'm seeing so many brackets saying Maryland will beat Florida. Maryland does not have any bench.
I don't know enough. I don't know enough about that to talk about that, but you know,
I do. Maryland has a very good starting lineup. I will give them that.
Yeah.
Their bench, no. Our bench will destroy them.
All right, here's a game that I know you.
Their bench is actually insanely good. We have 4 guys on our bench who can get double figures any game that we want. So again, and that's the thing about our team is 10 deep.
So Missouri Drake, I know you have some thoughts about that game.
I think Drake should win that game simply because Missouri's best player is out. If he was playing, I think they would win.
I picked Missouri to win. Again, whoever plays Texas Tech in the next round is probably gonna lose anyways.
Yeah.
I hope.
And then
please,
Kansas,
for my bracket purposes.
You pick Kansas, right?
And then I picked Kansas over Arkansas, and then St. John's over Oklahoma. Now, here's the thing about St. John's. I don't know shit about ball, so correct me if I'm wrong. But there's no chance we make it past the second round.
I don't know about no chance. I think that's a bit of a stretch.
They won't make it past the Sweet 16 at least. Like, come on.
Their best win this year.
You said was what? Was
Marquette at UConn, and then Marquette 3 times.
I mean, yeah.
And Creighton.
If I'm Marquette, that's just embarrassing.
Yeah, Marquette's not that good. They have like one good player. That's like they just say, all right, carry.
Let's go over to the other side here. We have Houston over. I don't even know what school that is. What school is that? SIUE? Southern Illinois. I don't know.
That is
SIU Edward. No. Okay. Yeah. No wonder I don't know who the hell you are.
No offense. You're losing to Houston.
No offense to anybody that ever watches this and is from that school and loves that school. We ain't beating Houston.
No.
If you beat Houston on next time we do a podcast, I will buy whatever shirt, whatever merch, whatever jersey from that school, and I will wear it for the next year.
And I said this too. If Florida loses to Norfolk State in the first round, I will wear a Florida State hat and shirt.
Damn right you will.
And put DJ's last name on the back. I will do that. I will do that. I will do that. I promise I will. I will not back down from that. Gonzaga, Georgia. I have Gonzaga.
I have Gonzaga, Georgia.
Gonzaga. Georgia's actually a decent team.
Yeah,
but
I just
think Gonzaga's better.
All right, then Clemson. I got Clemson over McNeese. Now the McNeese man, what was it? What his position? But that guy now signing fucking NIL deals, crazy. I think he's a player assistant, something like that.
Something like that.
You are signing NIL deals with Crumble Cookie, or no, it was Insomnia Cookie, Insomnia Cookie,
Buffalo Wild Wings,
and Pick Picks. Like, dude, you're getting the bag. You're getting paid more than the players on that team from NIL. It's crazy. It's crazy, but you know, hype does wonderful things. So ride it while you can.
Purdue, I have High Point winning, but that's
I have Purdue winning because I just don't believe in High Point. Illinois over Xavier. Now here's the thing: I could totally see Xavier winning that game though.
I do as well, but I think Illinois should.
I think Illinois will get it done. Kentucky over Troy, UCLA over Utah State, and
actually no, I have Utah State beating UCLA.
I have Utah State over UCLA. The only reason you don't know why I did that?
Why?
We're in love.
Oh my god, I forgot I went to Utah State.
Jordan Love, baby. I said, you know what? I during stream last night when I built it, I was like, you know what, Jordan? For you.
Yep. So yeah, and like we said, we both have the exact same Final Four. We have Florida beating Duke in the championship. We have Florida.
All right, let's go over to your bracket.
All right. Yeah, pretty much the exact same thing. I'm looking at mine.
Explain
right
the
now.
South and East real quick. I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
All right, you will. All right. So everyone, so basically, same thing. Auburn should make the Elite Eight. Louisville, I picked Louisville to win. That's not looking good right now. Maybe they have a chance. I don't know. It's a 15-point game with 11 minutes left, so maybe there's a chance. I have UC San Diego over Michigan. I think it's just a bad matchup for Michigan. I have A&M versus Yale. A&M should win. I have Ole Miss versus North Carolina. I think they win pretty convincingly. I have Iowa State versus Lipscomb. I think they win. I have New Mexico over Marquette, and I have Michigan State over Bryant. I have Auburn over Louisville, Auburn, and then A&M versus UCSD. I have Ole Miss over Iowa State, and then Michigan State over New Mexico, and then I have Auburn versus A&M, and then Michigan State over Ole Miss, and I have Michigan State over Auburn. Auburn, to me, was the poster child that everyone wants to succeed. I just don't see it happening. I think it's not consistent with them. When they're on, especially shooting the basketball, they're almost impossible to beat. But when they don't hit shots, I understand, like, if you don't hit shots for anyone, it's hard to win. But there are certain teams that can win when they can't hit shots. Florida, for example, is one team that, against Georgia, they were down 26. They couldn't hit anything, and they just clawed their way back. Something like that. I just don't see Auburn. When they're losing, they don't know how to come back. That's the thing. They're very.
If you are right about that, my friend, my bracket might be screwed.
I have Auburn.
To be fair, I have Auburn going to the 8, and then
they lose
to MSU.
Yeah.
Michigan State, I'd like to see win. They're a team that I just genuinely like to see. Like, I don't know.
Michigan State's always good, and they also have Tom Izzo, who's one of the most experienced coaches out there. So I got to give him the benefit of the doubt. Duke, obviously. I mean, we're pretty much the same bracket. I don't really have to go over. The only difference is a couple of teams in the first round.
So let's see. Where do you think your most notable upset is?
My most notable upset has to be either Alabama losing in the second round or Clemson beating Houston in the Sweet 16. That has to be my biggest upset. Or Kansas beating St. John's. Those are my three big upsets that I have. That's
my biggest upset of the tournament is, go to it. I don't want to spoil it.
I just think that
is right here.
Which is what?
Round of 32. Houston loses to Gonzaga. I'm manifesting this shit right now.
I see it.
I'm manifesting this shit right now.
I just don't think Gonzaga is good enough to beat Houston.
Now they will lose it. Hopefully they'll go on and they'll play Clemson and they'll lose to Clemson.
Clemson's going to make the Elite Eight. I'm very confident in Clemson.
That's my hope. But I think other than that, my most notable upset would be Colorado State over Memphis. But I mean, they're favorites. Like, come on.
They're favorites. That's not an upset.
But yeah, they're favorites.
My upsets are definitely Kansas over St. John's, Alabama losing to St. Mary's in the second round.
Yeah, I also have Kansas over St. John's. See, I like the idea of a school from what are they from? What conference are they? Do they play in?
Which one?
St. John's.
Oh, they're the
definitely not Power 5.
The Big East. They're in the Big East.
Big East.
Yeah, they're in the same one with Villanova.
I like the idea that a school from the Big East can be a 2 seed. Like that's pretty cool. I mean, you had Villanova as a 1 seed.
Well, here's the difference though. Villanova, that team was insanely good.
Yeah,
you have
that
4
team was
NBA
amazing.
players on that team.
That team was amazing.
Brunson, Bridges, DiVincenzo, and Josh Hart. I mean, those teams were really good.
Didn't they make like a commercial with all 4 of them?
Yes, they did.
I saw that commercial. I was like, oh my god, that's genius.
Yeah, that team was insanely good. All those players were good players. You knew they were going to win. For example,
that team was for sure stacked.
I just don't see St. John's having enough offensive ability to go past the second round over Kansas. I think, especially with the Hunter Dickinson as their center.
They're also playing like really big programs, and that's my thing. Like these programs have like money to source out the best of the best.
Hey, we'll see.
Well, I hope I eat my words because I would love to see a school like St. John's, go far.
Yeah.
Now, I'm always rooting for the underdog usually, but for my bracket's sake, I didn't feel comfortable putting them further.
I'm obviously rooting for Florida, but
listen, I live in Florida. From Florida, born and raised my whole entire life, but I am a Florida State fan. Picking Florida was not an easy choice. It was not an easy choice.
But it's just.
But I'm like, how entertaining would it be just to have one of the hottest teams in basketball right now win the tournament?
Yeah, and they're actually so entertaining to watch. Have so much fun
they genuinely are.
Watching them.
I haven't watched much, but from what I've watched, I actually enjoyed watching it. So.
Yeah. All right.
Can't complain there.
All right, Zach. I want to close this first episode that we did, which has been really fun. Quickly, I know you don't really watch the NBA much. I do.
This is going to be more of you ranting, if anything. This is where Nico shines. This is where Nico will start spewing.
You obviously know about the MVP race scene, SGA and Nikola Jokic.
Of course.
As of right now, SGA is a minus 850 to win the MVP. Basically,
now I know enough to know that it's quite
he actually has a higher than 50% chance to be a unanimous MVP. I want your thoughts on that, and then I will go into that myself.
I mean, from what I've seen online, of course, it's just going to be very influenced from what I've seen. That seems a little silly. I'm going to be completely honest with you. It seems goofy that, don't get me wrong. I've watched a little bit of ball. Shea's a great player. He's definitely a very valuable asset to that team. But how much of your stats are from free throws? Let's be honest here. Because I'm sure you know this, Nico. From what I've seen, he has been labeled as a free throw merchant. Am I wrong?
So I will discuss more. If you took away everybody's free throws, and I mean literally every single player, if free throws didn't exist, he would still be the leading scorer in the NBA, I believe, but by 0.2 or something like that. It'd be very minuscule difference.
Not by much.
Basically. It's not him attacking the basket. People have to understand. We want people to drive to the basket a lot.
I love the 3 ball, but I love to see bully ball. I love bully ball.
I love it too. For example, a guy like Paulo Banchero, he's not going to be flopping every time he gets to the paint because there's 4 guys in the paint waiting for him.
He does it because he can't shoot. Yeah, let's say.
So he literally has to just try and get contact to get free throws. So it's not like he's trying to avoid. SGA tries everything in his power to sell the call.
So
I'm not saying
for me to understand it, would it be an equivalent to Patrick Mahomes flopping at getting hit?
Basically, yes, pretty much the exact same thing. It is
where it gives enough evidence for the refs to be like, all right, yeah, that probably is a foul.
It's smart. And I'm not saying it's wrong. It's smart, but it's not ethical in a way. And I remember I saw this. SGA literally grabs someone's shoulder against Detroit. I forgot who it was. I think it was Malik Beasley or something like that. Grabs his shoulder, pulls him in, flops, and gets the free throw call. Gets the foul call. He is grabbing his arm with his arm like this. His arm is like this.
Yeah.
He pulls him in, he flops, he shoots, and gets the foul call.
It's silly. It's just...
Also, this notion that, he's more valuable because his team's winning. Whose team is really damn good? It's the Thunder. They probably
You mean the Orlando Magic?
I'll talk about it for like 5 minutes. I just don't want. Because if I talk for more than that, I'm just gonna be here for 30 minutes.
So we might be here all night.
Yeah, basically. The Thunder have a very good team. It's very well balanced. It's very good defensively. Will say, defensively, I do think they're a bit overrated. It's not because of the efficiency. It's because the way they play defense, it's not really sustainable in the 7-game series because they play very aggressive defense. It works. I'm not saying it doesn't. It works in the regular season. It just doesn't work in the playoffs when the opponent sees you 7 times. That's kind of what happened against Dallas last year. They were pretty much same good defensively last year. OKC, they were like top 3 efficiency. But what happened was when Dallas really figured out how to play against them.
RIP that franchise, by the way.
Yeah, RIP to the Mavericks.
RIP Mavericks franchise. You might never be the same.
They basically spread out the floor and they basically say, hey, take Chet Holmgren out the paint and get him in the perimeter, and we're just going to play 5 wide. And we're going to have a lob threat waiting for Luka Doncic every time. That's what happened. And what happened was they couldn't really defend because they didn't have enough physical presence. That's the problem. Getting Hartenstein helps, but I don't see OKC, being winning the championship this year. However, that does not take away the fact that they are arguably the best team in basketball.
Yep.
And people say, "Oh, it's Shea doing it." No, it's because the rest of the team is also really good. If you take away, this is how I look at MVP. I look at it differently than other people. Kind of like with the GOAT conversation, I look at it differently because I've played team sports and I play individual sports throughout my life.
You're just different, is what you're saying. You're just a different breed.
Yeah, I'm just a beast. Anyway, but if you take away Shea from the Thunder, I still believe the Thunder would make the playoffs. They wouldn't be, 50 wins and 12 losses or something like that, but they would still be probably a top 6 seed in the West because they have that much. They have a good coach in Dagonaut. They have a very good defense, right? Shea is like the 3rd best defender on that team, which is saying a lot because he's a pretty good defender.
Who'd you say number 1 is on that team?
Oh, Chet Holmgren, first. Chet Holmgren is probably the best defender. He's still not a great rebounder, and his offense has kind of fallen off.
Which is ironic because he's huge.
I don't understand why he's not been efficient offensively, but that's a whole other thing.
Hey, you play good defense. I guess it equals out, right?
Yeah. He's still a very good defender. But if you take away Jokic from that Nuggets team, they would be fighting in the play-in. That team runs on Nikola Jokic.
No, 100%. 100%.
It does. If that's the thing with me. See, Jokic, he makes everyone so much better on that team. And now that he's averaging he's averaging.
Listen,
he'd be the
everybody
first
knows I love me some white boy basketball. So when people say Jokic is a monster, I'm like, you're damn right he is. He is not American. He is not even close in resemblance to anything that I am. So like I can't even see myself. I can be like, oh yeah, like that's my boy. No, like he is foreign.
Yeah.
But
what makes Jokic so good is that I
feel like Jokic is just like, I think it's funny because he's like the most nonchalant. Everybody makes the meme that he doesn't give a shit about basketball. He likes his horses better.
He doesn't. If he actually cared about basketball, he'd be the greatest player of all time.
Every fucking year.
If he actually cared about basketball, he'd be the greatest player of all time. I always talk about this with my dad. Could you imagine if he had Wilt Chamberlain's athleticism?
Oh Lord.
He would literally average 35, 20, and 15 with like 5 blocks a game. Like it'd just be like, all right, give him the MVP. I compare him to basically like what Barry Bonds had when he was in the steroids era.
The roids era.
Yeah, basically, obviously Barry Bonds was, taking steroids, all that stuff, but it was to the point where
listen,
they didn't like him. They didn't want to give him the MVP.
Still played pretty damn good.
They didn't want to give him the MVP, but his stats were so insanely good that they didn't have any choice. Yeah. That's what's happening with Jokic. It's just that his efficiency, the way he's running the offense, and you can't say anything about his defense because he's 4th in the league in steals. So you have to take that part out. He's tied with Shea in steals. And he's a center. Again, he's not the best defender, obviously, but he does so much more on offense. He's the biggest compliment to any team in the NBA. When he's on the court, they're the best team in the league. And when he's off the court, they're one of the worst teams in the league.
You heard it. You heard it. You're here, folks. Fuck.
If
You heard it here first, folks.
If Shea wins MVP, I will not be mad because he's having an MVP caliber season.
Yeah, no, okay. So it goes to say, like, for example, like NFL last year, like it was between basically Josh Allen and Lamar.
Same thing.
If Lamar would have won MVP, I would not have been mad. He very much deserved it.
But I think
again with the Heisman, fucking Travis Hunter, he won it. Do I think he deserved it? Absolutely. Do I think there's better candidates? Yes.
I think Ashton Genty should have won personally, but
I do too. But
you know, I'm not mad that Travis Hunter won because
I'm not mad.
He's insane.
I also feel bad that everybody shit on his girlfriend. I mean, maybe they'll save him. I personally
we don't talk about that.
I personally think that you know, there might be some collusion in that relationship there, you know, with some foreign parties, but hey,
but again,
that's your own relationship, man. You do what you want to do. That's not my business. That's not my business.
Going back to the MVP, that's kind of what it is.
Yeah,
I get it. Shay's having a great year, and he has a narrative for him, like he just does.
100%.
But everyone says, "Oh, but then he should be four-peating." I thought if I had to vote last year, I would have voted Doncic as the MVP. Personally, I thought Doncic had the best year of anyone. He was averaging 33. He won the scoring title. He was averaging 33, 9 and 9, like the first time in NBA history that happened. The Mavericks were a 4 seed, so you couldn't take the winning argument out of it. They won like 50 games. They just gave it to Jokic because of his advanced metrics. But this year, he is so far and away better. Like could you imagine if Jokic was on the take away Shea and put Jokic on the Thunder with Chet Holmgren, Jalen Williams, and all the
first off, I think it will work, but I think it might not work as well as people think it will, just because I feel there's way too many big.
That's true, but again, you know, if you took a draft and you say, hey, you get right now the player for the next 5 years, no one is not taking Jokic first. You'd be stupid to not take Jokic first.
Insane.
You'd be stupid not to.
Let's say every single player in the league enters free agency, and like there's essentially a league-wide redraft where you just get to redraft every current player, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jokic is going first.
Jokic is going 1. Giannis is going 2. Shea or Luka is going 3, and one of the others going 4. And then actually no. Jokic is 1. Victor Wembanyama 2. Because everyone loves him to death. Giannis 3.
I mean, they love him for a reason, though. They love him for a reason.
No, I'm not saying he's bad. Obviously.
They love him for a reason.
Luka and Shea are interchangeable 4 and 5. Kind of more depends on what the team wants to do. If you need like a win now guy, you probably want Shea. But if you want like a guy to build around, you probably go Luka. Because it's easier to build around a guy that is ball dominant like that.
Man on the Lakers.
LeBron, maybe 6.
I feel like because of his age, he would probably slip down. Because he's gonna retire in the next.
You get the idea. Jokic should be the first overall pick every single time.
The idea, the main point I was trying to make though is like Jokic is going to be the number 1 every single time, no matter what the team is. You're building a team around Jokic. That's just how it is.
Yeah, he's just that good of a player. Shea's a fantastic player. He's gotten a lot better offensively from last year, especially in the mid-range. Last year, his mid-range was good, but now he's like probably the best mid-range shooter in all of basketball. Just saying a lot. His 3 needs to get better, but I think that'll come with time.
Yeah.
I just don't think that he is really making the team better. I think the team is more making him better because he's allowed to do more. Jokic is making the Nuggets better.
Jokic is the Nuggets.
Because even with Shea off the court, they're still a plus team. Just so you know. Even when Shea's off the court, they're still a positive team.
I know how you love your plus minus. Bring them out.
Well, no, plus minus is stupid. Because yesterday, Franz Wagner had a plus minus of 18 in 38 minutes. Yet he shot 8 of 19 and had 6 turnovers with 6 assists, and he was still plus 18. While Apollo was at 31, 7, and 5, shot 10 for 21 and 3 from 3, had like 1 turnover, and he was minus 7. So the whole box
that's just how it works, my friend.
It's just dumb. Like, get Paulo some help. Get him some shooting. It's embarrassing at this. It's embarrassing.
I mean, as a fan, you know, I don't watch them much, but when I do, I almost feel bad for the guy.
It's embarrassing, dude. I have never seen a young player since LeBron James, essentially, be told, "Hey, do everything for us. Pass.
Just do it.
Shoot,
Yeah, do whatever you want to do.
Drive."
Yeah, the other day, like you sent me, he did a behind the back, through two defenders.
He did a behind the back drive, and he shot over 3 guys.
Yeah,
Just
through 2 defenders and over 1 more. Like, come on.
Here's the problem. Everyone says, "Oh, kick out the shooters." He has been.
I was about to say, yeah, they fucking brick it.
Our team is shooting, I think, like 33% or something, or not 30.
Hey, KCP, what have you done?
38%, like 38% on passes that he makes. So basically 3 out of 8.
Yeah.
And he's averaging like 5 assists still. So if they were really making shots, he would be averaging like 6 or 7. I'm not saying they need to shoot 100 because it's obviously.
Yeah.
But like 40%, 50% maybe would be better. And KCP, man, like.
Don't even get Nico started. Don't even get Nico started on KCP. I remember how excited you were when we signed KCP. You were
very
thrilled.
Happy.
I was
very happy. I wasn't, thrilled with the actual money involved, but I was thrilled that we got
it. It was like, oh my god, yeah, we got like an actually like, high quality player in KCP here.
Yeah, and then he's just absolutely shit.
And now he's having the absolute worst season of his career.
Shooting percentages wise, yes, he is. He's not scoring the worst, but yes.
Shooting percentage, yes. Horrible. Horrid.
He shot 4-12 last night and 2 of 8 from 3. And he had a game a couple of days ago against Houston, by the way. He took 0 shots. 0.
Like, there's no way you pay a guy that much money for him to shoot 0 shots.
You can't pay a guy $22 million to not take a shot in a game. I don't want to hear it. And if you are going to take a shot, if you are going to shoot, you can't shoot 33% on 12 shots. You just can't.
Doesn't work like that.
No.
Doesn't work like that.
Can't do it.
That's like paying that's like paying a backup quarterback to sit on the bench and do absolutely nothing.
Wendell Carter Jr. Listen, I want every single player on the team to succeed. I do.
I like Wendell. He's been around for a while.
I love him. He's a great guy for the team. He has a great chemistry with all those guys, but he has been failing this team. He just has. And there's no way around it. I think he needs a fresh start. I think he does.
Yeah.
I think he needs to be, because I think it's not his fault, but his size as a big man is just getting obliterated. He's not rebounding the ball well. He's not scoring well. He's basically forced to be a perimeter center, and he's just not that. He's shooting like 19% from 3 this year, which is abysmal. He shot like 30% last year, and he went down to like 19, which again, abysmal. The team can't shoot.
It's just not there. It's just not there.
I don't know if I told you this or not. The last time a team shot this bad was when Kevin Love was still on the Timberwolves, and the Kevin Love was out that year. 2012, 2015.
That's crazy.
Like it's. Oh,
bro, I can barely remember what happened in my life when Kevin Love was on the Timberwolves.
Hold up, my camera just took a death. There we go. All right.
There we go. We're back.
But yeah, it's been bad. I actually had a trade proposal. I saw that because Mark Williams from the Charlotte Hornets was going to be reintroduced in trade packages. So I said, this is my idea. And I actually remember the trade. I said, the Magic get LaMelo and Mark Williams.
LaMelo's never coming to Orlando.
I think he could. He wants to be in a winning situation because,
I mean, Orlando's in that sense is better than Charlotte.
Orlando has the players. It's not like we don't have the players. It's just we've been hurt all year.
Yeah.
And the team can't shoot.
Yeah,
it's not like we have nothing to build on. We have 2 essential superstars and a third guy who's obviously very valuable to the team because since he's been out, our defense has fallen off the cliff.
Yep.
So, and I said, LaMelo, Mark Williams, we give up Cole Anthony, we give up Wendell Carter Jr., we give up KCP and Jet Howard and 3 first-round picks or something like that. You could take away KCP. I think the money would work that way. And then with Denver's pick, not yours, Denver's pick, you take Walter Clayton Jr. to replace Cole Anthony. Now you have a lineup of LaMelo Ball, Jalen Suggs, Franz, Paulo, and Mark Williams, and you have Walter Clayton Jr. coming off the bench with Anthony Black, with Jet Howard, with Jonathan Isaac coming back. and Mo Wagner will be back. That team, I think, can be good.
Yep.
And it'll be getting better as time goes on. I think that would be the best way to fix the team, personally.
Now the thing is like the realistic part of it. It's like, will the teams ever, make a move like that? And odds are,
if I'm Jeff,
it might not be.
I do whatever I can to make a bold move this offseason.
Quick update. Louisville is down 66-81.
2 minutes.
It is not looking. It is not.
There goes my perfect bracket. Houston's up by 13, which makes sense.
Yeah, Purdue's still up by 10, and Wisconsin's up by 8 against Montana.
Yep, and the first half. Yep, there goes. I mean, listen, no one's gonna get a perfect bracket. Like, it's just not gonna happen.
If it happens this year, then somebody cheated. There's just no way.
Yeah. All right.
To end out this NBA section, what do you think the Magic struggle with the most? Like, what do you think would immediately fix? Is it a depth issue? Is it like a shooting issue, defensive issue? No. What do you think it would be that would fix the Magic in the right direction?
The only thing, and I mean the only thing, that we have to get better at is shooting. And I mean literally the only thing. I think our front office is getting too much hate because of injuries, ruining our entire season, essentially. Because
Paulo and Franz
both tore their obliques, and Suggs has been out for basically 3 months. So, what are you gonna do with that? I mean, come on. It's just a season from hell.
It's unfortunate. That's what.
Yeah, it's just
unfortunate. So what you're saying is that they should go and try to source out shooters. Like, you need to fix the shooting problem.
You need shooting, and you need a true playmaker. That's what you need. Those are the two things you need. You need shooting, and you need a true point guard that can facilitate the offense. Whether that is like a big name like Trae Young or LaMelo Ball, or someone like Anthony Simons who won't cost as much. Or even drafting Walker Clayton Jr. to be that guy, because I think he can, because he's a good facilitator. You just need a guy that you could say, all right, let's ease the load off Paulo. Let's see if a point guard can be a good shooter and can facilitate the offense. Clayton Jr., that's why I think Clayton Jr. is the perfect fit for Orlando, because he's a great shooter, especially off the dribble, and he's a great ball handler and facilitator. Those are his strengths, and he can defend as well. I think he's a very NBA-ready player, and he obviously won't be elite, but he's that type of player that any team would want and needs. It's really the shooting part that's the only issue with the team. It's not, and I think that's fine, because I remember, 3 years ago when I thought, me being a dumbass, I thought that Vooch, Gordon, and Fournier would take us to the promised land, which would be maybe the second round of the playoffs, looking back on it.
Yeah.
But they destroyed the team, they rebuilt, they got Jalen Suggs and they got Franz Wagner, which were amazing, which was an amazing draft. Then the next year you get the first overall pick in Paulo. Obviously, that's worked out very well in your favor. You have you have a definite superstar in Paulo, obviously. I mean, I was telling you this. The last 10 games, he's averaging 31, 7, and 5, essentially, shooting 51, 40, and 82 from the line. I mean, that's superstar numbers with no shooting, by the way, involved. You have Franz, who has become, I think, a near superstar. Probably would have been an all-NBA player had he stayed healthy all year. And Suggs is a very good third option for your team. It's just health, and you need more shooting. It's an easy fix. It really is.
This season, I'm convinced, would have gone a lot differently given everybody stayed healthy throughout the whole time.
I can tell you right now, if we were fully healthy, we'd be a top 4 seed at the bare minimum. At the bare minimum. Because remember,
injuries really are like a season killer, and that's just how it is in any sport. Like, for example, my Yankees. Okay, by the way, the only reason why I'm a Yankees fan is because my grandpa's a Yankees fan and my mom's a Yankees fan. Grew up in New York. I don't really watch baseball like that. So, but if I have to pick a team, I'll pick the Yankees. Call me a bandwagon. I don't care. Do what you gotta do. But the Yankees, for example, their season this year, before it even starts, already cooked. It's already cooked. They'll be a mid-tier team, and they might squeak into the playoffs and probably lose first round. That's my prediction.
Yeah. Cole out for the year.
Because Aaron Judge can only do so much, and then when he gets to the playoffs,
he always chokes in the playoffs. He always
sucks. He sucks dick because God forbid you carry that ERA from fucking
batting average from like
330
to like 120.
Yeah, it's bad. No, his batting average is what was it? What year was it when he had like an insane batting average and he went to the playoffs and it went to like a
it was first
like
MVP
108.
Season. His first MVP. He won the he was second in the batting league title because behind Vladdy Guerrero.
Yeah, and then I think it went to, and then in the playoffs it went to like a .108 or some shit like that. Of like, oh my god.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Yeah, it's bad. And again, injuries are killer, but at least we have the idea of what we need to do.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing as last year. The problem is the moves didn't work, and that's okay. You can make moves. However, if we're healthy next year,
it could go very differently.
Again, and you don't make any moves, then then the front office and the coach has to go. It has to go at that point because then that proves that you're the problem. If you see the team is healthy, you get a pass this year because until they finalize the whole first episode, you get a pass. If you're healthy next year and the same things are happening as bad as they are now, it won't be defensively. It won't be because Suggs will be back and defensively will be fine. So I'm not worried about that. But if the shooting says bad and you don't make any moves and we lose like first or second round, time to kick the curb.
Time to kick rocks. Get out.
Time to kick rocks. Because then that proves that you're the problem.
Yeah.
You have in order to fire.
That's the reason why this year especially.
This is why it's almost impossible to fire general managers in any sport, because you have to prove that it's their fault.
And it's so easy. It's so easy for them to deflect the blame onto somebody else.
The coach is always the one who gets the blame first. But if the coach
then it's probably players after that.
You hire a new coach that's having problems. If you can look at you and say, "Hey, maybe you're the problem." Well, Rob Pelinka, for example, people in LA were kicking rocks and literally calling for his head, and then they get blessed by getting Luka Doncic for 1 first-round pick and Anthony Davis.
By the way, I'm sure this is old news by now, but what a fucking robbery!
Oh yeah,
highway robbery. No, matter of fact, like intergalactic robbery.
Robbery.
It was bad. It was bad.
That should have never happened. If you're going to trade that type of player, 5 first-round picks at the bare minimum. If it was 5 first-round picks and Anthony Davis, I'd be like, fine.
That's reasonable.
That's a good trade.
At that point, it's more questionable on the Lakers side.
Oh no, you do that trade a million times. You get a franchise player for the Lakers for.
No, because the thing is, even like Lakers fans were like, all right, yeah, we got rid of AD, but like, I mean, yeah, it's cool. Yeah, it's cool. You have Luka, but like, did this trade really make a whole lot of sense?
Yeah.
For right now, not really. For future, absolutely.
I mean, honestly, when LeBron comes back, they might actually be a contender because those two guys know how to work with each other.
Dude, no, I will say that connection is low-key insane.
And there are two players. Luka is the type of player you do not want to see in the playoffs, and obviously, LeBron's LeBron. I don't care how old he is. If he's healthy, he's LeBron.
LeBron, no matter how old he is, I'm convinced that he still has like 3-4 years left in him.
I don't know about that, but at this level, I
wouldn't be shocked. He's definitely coming back next year. There's no way he retires.
Oh yeah,
unless maybe he wins a championship this year, then maybe.
Oh, if he wins a championship, he's retiring. He has nothing to prove after that. If he wins a championship this year at age 40, the GOAT case is over. It's done.
I say the GOAT conversation might be wraps.
Especially if he wins Finals MVP. If he becomes the oldest player to win, if he becomes a 40-year-old to win Finals MVP, wraps. Done.
If he gets Bronny a ring, it's wraps.
If he gets his son a ring, forget it. It's done.
Forget it. No, because nobody will ever do that again.
No.
It'll never happen again. Not to mention though, to be like, probably the greatest basketball player of all time, and to give birth to a son that is NBA level talent. Some players, like they'll have kids, but they won't really be that good enough or good enough to be in the NBA. That's already hard enough as it is. Now, if you win your kid a ring, I don't know what to say after that. Like that's incredible. It's incredible.
Yeah. All right, Zach. I think that is enough for our first episode of this.
I think we covered a lot. So a quick recap here. We covered the NFL free agency. We covered obviously the biggest thing going on right now in March Madness starting up right now. I'm probably after we're done with this, I'm probably gonna start watching some of those games.
Oh yeah, same here. I got work as well later tonight, which not fun.
Same here. But hey, gotta do what you gotta do.
Gotta do what we gotta do.
And then we also talked NBA for a little. So I think we covered a lot.
I think this has potential to be pretty good. I really do. And I really hope Tim comes back, because when he gets here, this is going to be so much more fun.
See, when Tim comes back, it's going to be more of like actual, conversation between like a group of people rather than two. It'll flow a little bit better, I feel like.
It'll be fun. And we're going to come up with some really fun kinks for this.
For sure.
So
we'll find some fun things to do. I'm just glad we finally got to get this thing off the ground, kind of get it running, get it going.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. That'll do it for
we did great.
The OT and OT podcast. The overtime and off topic.
OT.
My name is Neil Gompel. That's Zachary Ian, and we say goodbye to you all.
RIP Tim. We'll see you soon. Hopefully.
We'll see you soon, Tim.